Hey everyone, this is Paul, and you are listening to episode 17 of the Generation Latino podcast. Thank you so very much for listening and tuning in. It means the world to me. I love having guests on here, and I just love talking about topics that other people can connect to or relate to, or maybe just want for entertainment purposes. But once again, I cannot thank you enough for that. But today is Mother's Day. I'm recording this episode on Mother's Day, and obviously, this comes out on Monday, so you'll be hearing this on Monday. But I really wanted to talk about the women in my life and just the women that I look up to, and kind of go deeper into why I have always been a champion of women and why I have always been gravitated towards women in my life. So here you have it, episode 17, The Power of Women. All right, well, the power of women. I grew up with a single mom, right? And I also grew up with two sisters, aunts, my grandmother. So all of those women in my life were pretty powerful and significant in my life. As I shared before, I do come from a broken home, but specifically in the Latino community, it is, really known to be raised by a single mom. I'm just going to say it out there. The amount of friends that I have who have been raised by single moms or were raised by a grandmother or an aunt is pretty high. And I was doing some research, and in the US, approximately 31.2% of Hispanic children live without their biological father. That means roughly 1 in 3 Hispanic children experience father absence. About 3.52 million Latin families in the US are led by single mothers. I mean, that number is astonishing. It's sad, to be honest. It's sad. But I am going to do an episode on growing up fatherless later on in this season. But today I am just going to focus on the badass women in my life and why I love the power of a woman. We're going to talk about iconic movie characters as well, and strong female characters. I mean, even in my episode about the power of cinema, I talked about Madonna and Tina Turner, just because those women give so much hope and light to minorities. You know, women have it hard. They have it hard. Whether people want to admit it or not, it is hard being a woman. And I'm saying that as a man, but I grew up with a mom. So, anyways, my first woman in my life that really was the center of it all was my mom. I grew up with always just being with my mom, and my mom and dad were together for a good amount of time. My mom married my dad twice. So they married at 18, got divorced, and then got married again. And I will never forget, I was 8 years old, and my mom told me that she was going to leave my dad. And mind you, guys, I grew up seeing a lot of domestic violence, a lot of abuse, my mom and dad constantly fighting. I grew up with not in the most safe space. But I will say this, my mom did everything in her power to create a safe space for her kids, right? My mom's world was her kids, and nothing else mattered. To this day, nothing else mattered. I remember I was in elementary school, about 8 years old, and she tells me that she is leaving my dad. And I was like, Jesus, finally, God, and it was, the crazy part is, as abusive as my dad was, and as he really was in need of help. I mean, he was a drug addict, he was an alcoholic, all of that. as bad as he was, I was never afraid of him because I always knew that my mom protected us. No matter what was happening, I always knew that I was going to be okay because I had the mom that I had. Regardless of their fighting, my dad never beat me, but he would fight with my mom, and they would get into these arguments, things would be flying and throwing around, but she always protected us. So no matter how bad he was, I always felt protected by my mom. And I saw that as a young boy. I saw a woman protecting her cubs, if you will. And I just never forgot that. You don't forget that, because I was not afraid of my dad whatsoever. But my mom protected us, and she was never going to let us be in harm's way. And I understand trying to make a marriage work, but there's a point where you have to say, you know what, this is not going to work. So she left him. And that to me was the turning point in my mom's life, in our lives as a family. I was 8 years old, and I was with a woman who was thriving. She was working. She was really being the person that she wanted to be. And I saw that. And my dad did not make it easy for my mom when she left him. He would wake up every morning before work, knock on our door, beg my mom back, please, 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 please. And my mom really stuck to her guns and said, no, absolutely not. So I'm seeing this as a little boy. So if anyone asks me why I don't put up with bullshit, you can thank my mom, because I don't put up with bullshit. Anyone who knows me knows I do not put up with bullshit. I'm a kind, sweet guy. I will give you the shirt off my back, but you won't take advantage of me. I set my boundaries, but I will not be putting up with anyone's bullshit. If my mom didn't put up with my dad's bullshit, why would I put up with any other man's bullshit? And I see too many women out there I've said this before on many episodes, like women just give it all up, but my mom was just fearless in her single era, if you will, and I loved it. I loved seeing her. She struggled, obviously, as a single mom. You're struggling, but what I saw was fight. What I saw was tenacity. What I saw was resilience. She was not going to give up. And not just that, she wasn't going to go back to my dad because she was struggling. She found a way. And for me, and I don't think I give my mom enough credit, but that's where that started. So when people ask me about my drive and my ambition and my me being vocal and me really wanting the best, it's my mom. I saw that. And so for me, I'm like, oh, anything is possible. So yeah, she was the first hero, the first, as Winona Judd would say, shero. She was that for me. She was the blueprint for me. And I love that I had that as an example, because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have an education. I wouldn't have a career. I wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for my mom making the steps that she did for her kids. I wouldn't. And for me to say, oh, it was me or I did this, no, absolutely not. It was strictly because my mom got out of a toxic, abusive relationship. And because of that, her kids lived a better life. Because of that, we lived in peace growing up. And I loved that. So my mom is truly that for me. And I've met a lot of moms in my life, and I love moms. I love women, but my mom is truly my inspiration for everything that I do. So Mom, if you're listening, which I think you probably are, because she lets me know if she likes my episodes or not, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, I couldn't help but think about her my grandmother. Every time during Mother's Day or birthday, specifically Mother's Day, right? Because Mother's Day is the day where everyone is celebrating moms. And if you don't have a mom, my heart aches because I know I'm blessed to have a mom. And if you do have a mom, please let her know you love her, and please let her know what she means to you. If y'all had a good, healthy relationship. I know there's some estranged relationships, but for me, for my story, my mom is my everything. So yeah, I grew up with that, right? So then as I got older, another big influence in my life was my aunt. I had an aunt who passed away, but she was also such a light for me during the time when my mom and dad were together and having that abusive relationship. My Aunt Terry, I call her my guardian angel, but she saved me in a lot of ways, and me and my siblings. She was young. She was the young aunt, but she would pick us up and take us to the movies. And she was the first person who ever took me to a steakhouse or to eat Italian. So she really opened up my palate to what could be possible. So my Aunt Terry was such a monumental part of my life. And another woman, my grandmother, who I spoke about in my second episode, was also a big influence on my life, and love knowing that I was raised by strong women. And I've seen people try to take advantage of women, specifically men, and I'm not going to tolerate that. So if any of my girlfriends come to me with a guy that they're doing this, I try to really give them the tough love, because I'm sorry, no one deserves your peace and no one deserves your happiness. You deserve your peace and you deserve your happiness. So growing up, that was me, right? My mom never limited me to anything. So what was I listening to? The Spice Girls, Madonna, Celine Dion. I mean, I was just listening to these empowering women and watching women on screen like Julia Roberts, and watching Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, watching Anna Wintour, the editor in chief of Vogue. So I've just always loved strong women. And one thing I don't understand is when other women dislike other strong women. And I'm saying this as a gay man who has surrounded his entire life with women. Women, y'all need to stop doing that. You need to embrace a strong woman. You need to embrace other women who are powerful and who you can learn from. I'm so tired of hearing people talk about women in a very bad way. My thing is, it doesn't matter how a woman makes her money. If she's not hurting anybody, let her be. Whether she's a stripper, a teacher, a hooker, I mean, I'm not judging anyone. Let them be them. I think women are so hard on each other, and I don't know why. I'm like, ladies, and I even see it working in youth development. I see young girls starting at a young age, like being pinned against each other. I'm like, embrace each other. Embrace each other. I also have two sisters that I love and adore, and they've always been champions of each other. One's not jealous of another. If one has success at one stage of their life, that doesn't mean the other one's unhappy. When I woke up today on Mother's Day, I thought to myself, man, to all the moms out there, all the women out there, this is your day. Embrace it. Do whatever you want. You know, not just today, but every day. But today was just a reminder of how grateful I am to my friends who are women, who are doing what they need to do, who are successful, driven, educated. And I'm not bashing men, but I'm sorry. I've seen way too much to not bring out the truth, to not talk about the truth. I've seen too many of my girlfriends just throw it away for a man. No, honey, don't do that. You're worthy of more. You're worthy of the prince. You're worthy of the king. You know, and if you want to date Joe Schmo and be treated like that, then I'm sorry. Like, anyways. But yes, I wanted this episode to just be it was going to be a short episode, that I knew. But I just wanted to talk about my mom and the powerful women in my life that I've looked up to. And again, being 10 years old, looking at the Shania Twain music video or the Spice Girls video, seeing girl power, having nieces, and seeing women like Taylor Swift just thrive. I think we need to embrace women for who they are, mothers. So if you're a mom out there listening, and even if you're not, own your power, own it. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this short episode. I just wanted to come on here and talk about women. My mom, who is the biggest influence in my life, my sisters, my sister-in-law, my nieces that I love, my grandmother, my aunts. I mean, if you're out there, really take a look at the strong women, the mothers around you, and thank them. Because honestly, I can't imagine a world without strong women, without women who are advocates, without women who have to fight against adversity, women in leadership positions. And yes, it was very hard for me to accept this recent political election. And it stung. But what helps me move forward is knowing that it is not the end, that we will continue to fight as minorities, and that women will continue to have seats at the table. No matter what table it is, women will continue to have that. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And again, thank you for listening, tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I know this episode was a little unscripted. Usually all my episodes are scripted, but I just wanted to come here on this Mother's Day and just thank my mom and all the beautiful women out there. You are worthy. You are enough. If you are not happy in something, change it. There's resources. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. And this season is going to be 20 episodes. And once these 20 episodes are done, I will start again in the fall with season 2. So after this episode, we have 3 more. And then I will take a break and come back with season 2 with more interviews, more topics, and all of that. But thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And if no one told you Happy Mother's Day, I'm telling you, Happy Mother's Day. Until next time.